So how did you go from developmental to Johnny Curtis?
Yeah.
NXT, you won the NXT season 4. How did you go from all that and then to Fandango? Like, who came up to you with the Fandango idea?
Yeah. So in between the end of season 4 of NXT and debuting as Fandango, I was kind of in limbo. They didn't really know what to do with me. And I was just doing the NXT kind of changed from a competition show into redemption. So WWE will have TV deals overseas. So they just need content, superstars, main event, Sunday morning or Saturday morning slam, whatever it is. So NXT kind of fell into that category. They just needed content for, I think it aired on TV in Canada, overseas, in Europe. So I was just kind of doing that show, which I enjoyed because it wasn't super micromanaged. I don't think that they really cared too much about it. So they didn't micromanage your promos and your characters. So that's when I kind of started doing more promos and feeling comfortable on the mic. So around that time, Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex were chosen to do a stripper gimmick, kind of like what the Mansour is doing now, the M&M guys, or I forget the name of their tag team, but essentially they were dick dancers and come out dressed as cops or firefighters, and then once the bell rang, they were like, they kick ass. I think we've seen that character, that type of character over the years kind of reincarnate itself. So Tyler Rex decided that he didn't really want to do it. So he asked, I believe he asked for his release. And so Kurt Hawkins just went to the office and like, hey, what about Johnny Curtis? He's not really involved in anything. So maybe he could do the dancing gimmick. And Brian came up to me and I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Cause I wasn't really doing anything at the time.
Right.
And plus Hawkins is one of my best buds in the business. So it'd be kind of fun. And, so the office came up to me like a week later and they're like, hey, we're going to have you do that dancing gimmick. But not with Hawkins, just you. Don't tell him. I'm like, what the fuck?
Told him, right? You told him?
I wouldn't have told him immediately. Yeah, give him my boy. I'm not going to
oh man, of course.
But he's like, you know what, bro? Honestly, I didn't really want to do it anyways. Cause if you have a list of gimmicks, bro, ballroom dancer or stripper is probably at the bottom of them.
It's like The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, wait, the dead man that's taken. Yeah.
Yeah. Red Rooster, cheerleader.
Yes.
But I knew Ace at this time. I'd been in developmental 7-8 years, limbo in between TV. This might be the only character, if the old man, which it was Vince's idea, if he's behind it and I said no, I'd probably end up in limbo doing dark matches and most likely get released. So I'm like, you know what? This is probably my only opportunity. It's obviously I'm not high on their priority in terms of up and coming talent, because they would have had something for me by now. So this might be the only opportunity. And if Vince is behind something and he hears a talent, shuts it down, he might not be too happy about that talent. So I kind of understood that.
Did you know how to dance?
I didn't. No. So Hunter came up to me. He's like, hey, go talk to the talent, sorry, my girl's coming home. My dog's freaking out. Go talk to Mark Carano. He's going to set you up with a dance school in Tampa. So I was going to a stripper, nice young lady in Tampa to learn how to dance. And then I think like a month or two in, Hunter pulled me aside. We just started at Full Sail for NXT. And I was just kind of just doing dark matches and stuff there. And maybe you'd really, but he's like, hey, don't go to stripping school anymore. I'm like, oh, sweet. He's like, we're going to have you go to ballroom dancing school. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right.
The whole time you're in stripper school, you're like, the only thing worse than this would be ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not doing that.
And, so I was in Houston, living in Houston at the time. So it was actually fun. It was really challenging. It's like learning how to wrestle. It's a lot that goes into it, and it takes years and years and years to get good at dancing. So essentially I got the crash course, and
Right.
it's like faking tying up and maybe grabbing a headlock. That's how much I learned. You know what I'm saying? It's like learning how to be a pro wrestler in 3 months. So I learned just enough to kind of fake it. And we would do dark matches, and they would put me with like Layla or, you know, one of the girls that actually had some dance background. So it kind of made the character look better, obviously, because I'm obviously not a dancer, so you need the dancing, a good dancer to make it work. We did a few dark matches, and Vince really enjoyed it and liked it. So we started shooting vignettes, and then obviously the rest is history. So that's how it kind of transpired, the whole thing. It's kind of interesting that Cardona Myers is kind of the catalyst of the whole thing, you know. So
what were your interactions with Vince like about the character? Was he very hands-on with you?
Yeah, he was. It was his baby, and he rented out the Highland Ballroom in the beginning of 2013 or the end of 2012, and I went there, and the whole gimmick of not saying the name properly, that was the whole start of it. It was a shoot, so I did those promos, and he, you know, it cost him probably $75,000 to shoot those. And he didn't like the way I said Fandango or Fandango. So he, one day I'm just lifting in Atlanta before TV, and I got like 12 missed calls from the office, and they're like, "Why aren't you up in the concourse to shoot your vignettes with Vince?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Wow.
So no one told me. Yeah, no one told me. So I ran over there, and Vince just had hip surgery at the time, and he's on like a crutch. And he's like, I'm like, "Listen, sir, you know, no one told me we were shooting today." He's like, "It's not your fault." I'm like, "All right, fuck." So he produced it in person. So he wanted me to pronounce the name differently and be more flamboyant, I guess, and just more cocky. And it was his vision. So I guess him not being on site would have been difficult to produce, obviously, if he wasn't there. So yeah, it was cool to work that close with him. You know, I wasn't super close with him prior to that. I wouldn't say I was super close with him during my run, but you know, he's an intimidating guy. It's a guy that, you know, you look up to your whole life. It's your boss. He you never know what type of mood he's in, you know, so you kind of keep it neutral. But yeah, it was fun.